I know for a fact that some of you guys are still uncertain whether the PC port of Nioh is good enough to be worth it. Despite developers promising potential 4K support at 60 FPS, there's a good reason for you to be cautious about it. Because, you know, Japanese developers love to make Japanese PC ports. But anyway, you get my point. So today I will do my absolute best to solve the mystery of Nioh PC port for you. Or, in other words, I will tell you how well does it run and what it can do. The moment you launch the game through the Steam library, you're greeted with this little application called the launcher. The setting menu within the launcher provides pretty much everything you may need when it comes to adjusting the graphical fidelity of Nioh on PC. Some people complain that you can't adjust the resolution. Well, it's not the case, since you can see it's the very first option provided by launcher. Anyway, the game does support all the fancy PC Master Race resolutions up to 4K. That being said, I don't think it supports any non-16:9 options, which isn't good. Next up is rendering resolution option, which is basically a scale, where 100% is what you put as your screen resolution. So high is 100%, which means that if you put 4K as your screen resolution, the game will render the action at 4K. Medium and low settings make the game render the action at lower resolution and then upscale it to your screen resolution. Sadly, it doesn't allow you to super sample the scenes that way, which is sad. The shadow option is pretty self-explanatory, and well, FPS cap is even more so, super obvious. Something to note that the game allows you to cap the action at 30 FPS as opposed to PC native 60 FPS. So if you have a low-end PC, setting the cap to 30 FPS might make it more bearable. Display mode option determines whether the game will run at full screen, windowed, or borderless mode. Yes, you heard it right, the borderless mode is supported natively, which is A, very good, B, very surprising, since it's a Japanese PC port of a Japanese game. Anyway, Occlusion controls occlusion. Same goes for dynamic reflections. The camera motion blur blurs everything to make it look more cinematic. Except the engine pretty much butchers it, making it look really ugly, so I suggest you stay away from that option. Now let's take a look at what kind of options are accessible from within the game. As you can see, it's all the same stuff sans the resolution option, and well, there's this Nvidia Shadowplay highlight thingy. I have no clue what it does. Probably nothing special, but if you have an idea on what it does, feel free to leave a comment about it. Anyway, now let's talk real talk. As usual, with all the fancy Japanese games, controller is a must. Does Nioh support your fancy gaming keyboard and mouse? The answer is no. You can't play this game without a controller. Does Nioh support your fancy 69 by 8000 cinematic monitor? No. Sadly, it does not. Does Nioh support your fancy 148,000 Hz gaming monitor? No, it does not. The game is capped at 60 FPS. But does it look good? Yes, it kinda does. As someone who has played Nioh on PS4 without ever turning off the action mode, which is 720p 60 FPS kind of thingy, I can say that yes, Nioh on PC looks a lot better than it did look on PS4. That being said, it's not gonna justify your 1080 Ti, it doesn't look that good. But to be fair, it does run pretty well and it doesn't butcher your system, so there is that. The game does appear to be suffering from minor FPS drops when it comes to fancy effects. Speaking of fancy effects, Nioh has super weak AI options for a PC game. It is borderline unacceptable. It's gonna be very hard to spot it on the video, but I'll include a couple of screenshots so you can see how unsatisfactory it is. Speaking of cool stuff, it takes just a few seconds for the game assets to load in so that you can begin a mission, which is a huge improvement over PS4 and its endless loading screens. So if you have an SSD, do yourself a favor and put the game on it. Sadly, you need around 80 gig of free space, so it has to be a pretty spacey SSD. The other cool thing about Nioh is that it supports Uncell, which is a custom screenshot grabber thingy by Nvidia. Not much use, but pretty cool nonetheless. Other than that, so far, it looks like a not so Japanese PC port. It is moderately terrible, but it's certainly bearable because, well, it's Nioh. So if you have been waiting to see how well it runs, unless you get struck by an unlucky lightning of Japanese voodoo yokai super magic thing, chances are it will run good enough for you to enjoy it. Hope this video helped ya. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to be your tech support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.